the Prodigy.
Hello everybody, my name is Mr. Hat. Today we're going to be talking about The Prodigy. Alright, just got back from it. What are my initial thoughts? Well, let me give you just a quick synopsis. So Miles is a little boy, he's 8 years old, and he's very smart. Started speaking when he was like 6 months old, and his parents are thinking he's just a very gifted child, but there's really something else going on. It's like a possession movie, but there's just a little twist on it, so let's get into my initial thoughts. What do I like about this movie? Well, I like that this movie takes the possession route and kind of flips it, and it takes a different route. It's still technically a possession movie, but I won't spoil what's actually going on, but this is going to be spoiler free, by the way. But it has an interesting spin on the whole possession genre. It's technically not possession, but at the same time, kind of. I like that the tone of this movie is dark and it stays consistent throughout the whole movie. There's no like real moments of levity or joy, except for like this little montage in the beginning where like the child's born and we're seeing the child progress through life from baby to 8-year-old. All the fun moments right there, but then the beginning and the rest after that is all dark, and it keeps you on your feet, at the edge of your seat. You're like, what's gonna happen next? There are a few good moments of suspense in this movie, things that are happening where your imagination starts to go a little wild. You think like this is gonna happen, but then it doesn't, and you think this is gonna happen, but it does. I think the score does a decent job of building that tension in some moments. It's okay. I mean, this does kind of have that cheesy, like PG-13 horror movie type of suspense in it. It's okay. I mean, this movie doesn't deserve the R rating that it has. Just 2 moments in this movie were like, oh, that's the R rating right there. But other than that, this movie really could have been boiled down to be a PG-13 movie, but I'm glad they went the R route. I'm an R-rated guy, alright? I prefer R ratings. So that's a positive right there. I like this movie's rated R, and it goes there. Towards the end of the movie, you start to see the blood, some of the carnage finally starts happening, and you're like, oh, that's right, this is R. I think the child actor they got for this movie, he was okay. I mean, there's some moments where the acting's weak, but then later on it kind of explains it, like, oh, shit, that's why he was acting that way. I think they chose the right kid. This kid was perfect. His haircut and everything, the way he just stared and looked, and he was creepy. He was eerie. I wouldn't keep that kid in my house. I would handcuff him to the bed. This is just another movie I can add to the list of reasons why I'm never having children. The cinematography, the way this movie was lit and shot, it's very dark, and in some moment it just has like a cold filter, so it just feels like a eerie, dark, cold movie. And since this movie's really only like 90 minutes long, it paces pretty well. There's not really any boring moments, so I like that. It kind of keeps you. It doesn't get you don't really get bored in this movie, so that's always a good thing. That's what we look forward to in movies, right? We don't want to get bored. This movie doesn't really bore you, unless you have like ADD or something. Oh, and before I get into my negatives, this movie, at the beginning, it takes place in Montgomery County, Ohio. And I saw this movie in Montgomery County. Alright? I live right next to Montgomery County, so I was just like, when I saw it at the beginning, I was like, Montgomery County, Ohio. I was like, oh shit. That's where I'm at. What don't I like about this movie? Well, there's a few moments of cheesy jump scare music that is scarier than what's actually happening, and then there's a moment with like a bad CGI face. I don't like CGI in my horror movies. You guys know that by now. We got that generic situation where it's like the parents are slow to believe what's happening. They just are in denial, and you just want to punch them in the face like, wake the fuck up and realize what's happening. We got some bad character decisions, especially towards the end of the movie. Some things that really just make you not like the character that you were liking throughout the movie. So some bad character decisions here and there. You're like, why are you doing that? Why don't you just handcuff this fucking kid in the backseat of your car? Make sure he can't do shit no more. We find out that there's this killer. In the beginning, it opens with this guy getting killed. And we're like, whoa, what's this all about? And there's like a serial killer who's a hand collector. And I couldn't help but think of South Park. You know what I'm talking about. Season 8. The one where Cartman thinks he's like psychic. There's this hand killer. He just collects hands. We don't get an explanation about why he collects hands. He just does. We do get a sequel hinted ending. I'm not going to spoil what happens in the third act. But let's just say that this movie, the third act is the worst part of it. I don't like the third act of this movie. Some bad character decisions. Moments that we've seen before in other movies like this. Alright? I won't spoil what movie it is. But it came out in the 70s. And there was a remake of it. And I think this movie perfectly rips off that ending. Like, beat for beat almost. So this is like a rip-off of another movie in the third act. It's like, really, we're doing that again? And I don't like it. It's a third act that really brought down my enjoyment of this film overall. Like, where it's like, wow, just like, I was okay with the movie, and then I was just like, alright, this is bullshit. It was an okay moment. It was shot well. I liked it. So therefore, when it comes to the Prodigy, because of that third act and the predictability of it, I would just recommend that you go get this at Redbox. And those are my thoughts on The Prodigy. Have you seen this movie yet? Did you see that Child's Play remake trailer at the beginning? that was awesome. Let me know what your thoughts are on this movie in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed this spoiler-free review, you can hit this like button to show your support. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you can do so by clicking on my cartoon face in 5 seconds to see more. And until next time, I hope you listen. Boom!